Now for what's tipping the scales of justice in the University of Idaho murders case. So right now we're 1 week away from an important hearing for Brian Kohberger. At that hearing, a trial date could finally be set. Kohberger is the former grad student accused of stabbing to death those 4 University of Idaho students as they slept in their off-campus home.
Detectives arrested 28-year-old Brian Christopher Kohberger.
You never know. Like that, our neighbor was, a possible quadruple murderer.
Let's talk a little bit about this. Is justice getting closer for those 4 victims? They've been patiently waiting for a trial date on this one. Let's bring in criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor and somebody who is no stranger to high-profile cases, Michael J. Brown. Okay, Michael, so I know you can understand this from both sides. You're the perfect person to talk to about this because, you've been a prosecutor. You know how anxious these victims' family members are to get to trial, get to the truth, see if Kohberger is the right guy. And then we've also got the defense side. This is a capital case. They're trying to protect him at all costs to save his life. Tell me what you think the court ought to do here. I mean, this is going on a while here, this case. Do you think it's about time we get a trial date on the calendar?
Julie, there's no set, there's no rules in the sense of it has to be done by a certain time. Each case you have to take by a case-by-case basis. Each case is unique. Here you have 4 murders. You have a death penalty case. So I think the judge is trying to get this thing towards trial by setting this schedule and conferencing date. But things come up, and that's what happens. So, yes, I think they're getting to that point. But you have to remember, things can still happen, which would cause delays. But they're getting to that point because I know they want to set the schedule down.
Right. Michael, this is a tough one here because this case has just been so... it's heartbreaking. It's inflamed a lot of passions of people all around the world who've watched this, waited for justice. We heard the announcement from police that Kohberger's the guy, but we don't know if he's the guy. He's cloaked in the presumption of innocence. We'll see. What do you think may be the best defense for him? If you were tasked with representing him, I'm curious, where would you go? What would you do? What would you be looking at? How might you go about it differently than what we're seeing from this defense team?
Well, I think these defense attorneys are being zealous. I think they're definitely going after issues that they can attack. Kohberger has mentioned that he was, I think, stargazing, and he was out at a different location. The evidence may very well suggest otherwise. But I think they're going to, and what I would do is attack those issues in terms of the technical part of it. And listen, he may very well testify. I think he was a PhD candidate. He obviously is an intelligent person. I would expect he's well-spoken. So you may very well see him testify. When you have a case like this and there's so much evidence against you, you never know if you can save yourself, and that may very well be the case.
That's a really good point, Michael. We talk about what could tip the scales. When you're on the defense side, all you need is one to potentially hang the jury. Yeah, that's not an outright acquittal, but it could be something to give the state pause. So that's a great point. Maybe we will see him testify. He sounds pretty articulate in the few clips we've heard. Obviously, he is an intelligent guy. Oh, and we've got to leave it there for now. We're about out of time, but we'll see what happens. 1 week from now, he's back in court. We'll see if we get that date on the calendar.